Richie Rich Show.
Hey, what's up? What's up, man? It's your boy Richie Rich, back on the ones and twos, bringing a video to you guys. Something that I saw that caught my attention, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. Want to get everybody's opinion because I have an opinion about it, and it ain't popular. Anyway, the video I'm about to show you guys is a Hirschbach driver who I assume is from central Pennsylvania that abandoned his truck at a truck stop. He left at the sheets, and he told him to come get it. Now listen, we're going to watch the video and we're going to talk about it, but I have my feelings about it. You know, I really do. We're just in a different time now as far as freight and making money out here. I know a lot of guys are going to say, Rich, you should never abandon your equipment. They give you responsibility to hold that equipment, and they make sure you're good. You know, you turn it back to where you got it from. But here's the problem. How do you get home? Seriously, how do you get home? Excuse me. A company is not obligated to take you home. And if you work for this company for a standing number of weeks, right? And in the video, you're going to see why he said what he said, okay? But if you have no money and no way to get home, and the company doesn't have to provide you a way home, saying, you know, it leaves people in a really bad situation. Now, I used to say, right, years ago, I'm talking years ago, that you always should put away $1,000 or like $1,000 credit card or something so you can get home from anywhere in the country. I think $1,000 is enough to get you a hotel room and a plane ticket, okay? Or if you want to ride a Greyhound bus ticket from anywhere in the country, right? But right now, these last 6-7 years, well, let me think, 4 years of Biden, about five or 6 years, trucking has went downhill. And what I mean by that is not a lot of people are making money. And see, one thing I don't like that they're doing, right, which I wish they would change the law, is how are they letting these guys, you know, who are freshly truck drivers become lease purchase operators? That to me makes no sense. I think lease purchasing was really reserved for drivers who proved themselves to the company and that, you know, the company wanted to sell all the equipment to them. But now this has become a standard business practice in the truck industry. And what's essentially happening is you got people out here working for free, okay? Which nobody's raising Cain about because they're contractors, okay? But that's just a way for the company to shift liability, okay? Shift taxes, shift responsibility to their employees. The American trucker and the American worker are not respected anymore. They can care less about us. And I'm going to touch base on that why when I get back from you watching this video. But guys, check out this video. Tell me what you think, and let's talk about it. My opinion for abandoning trucks has changed. As some of you may know, I was hit with a truck abandonment, and I thought it was unfair. You know, I had told the company I was quitting. They turned the fuel card off, and they came and got the truck before I had time to bring it back up to them. And they put on my DAC unauthorized parking. Advanced Trucking did that out of Indiana. And I thought to myself, you know, it's too easy for these corporations to ruin people. It's way too easy. But there's nothing we could do as truck drivers to get back at them or protect ourselves. So watch this video, guys, and we're going to talk about it when I come back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to see it for yourself. So this company right here, I want you to see it. They are called Hirschbach. Look at this underneath. That's my name. Smiley's Unity LLC. But Hirschbach Trucking. Whatever you do, ladies and gentlemen, do not listen to the lies they tell you about signing on with them as a lease owner driver. I've been with them for 2 weeks. Out of 2 weeks, I only got paid $500 Check this out, right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just walking around because I want you to see where I parked that truck at. So when I question these fools about my pay, they still haven't got back to me. But in my settlement, it shows that I made $2,900, right? $2,900. How do you get from $2,900 to only $5,000? Now $509. So here's my truck parked. Show you again. This is Hirschbach. They are liars. The biggest mistake I ever made was signing on with them. I'm giving them a total of $72 hours to get my name off their truck, or they gonna start paying me. But to all the new drivers out here, that lease program is a lie. If you can't get with a company and have control over where you go, what you do, how much money you can make, stay away from these lease programs. I made the biggest mistake signing on with them. The next thing I want y'all to pay attention to, if these lease programmers are out of Oklahoma, Chicago, Indiana, they got nothing but game lies. I don't recommend nobody sign on with this company because you're gonna find out the hard way. Myself, I've been doing this for over 30 years. When I started seeing the red flags, it was easy for me to get out of this. So now here's that truck in the truck stop. These fools had the nerve to tell me to bring it back. They wanted me to take it to Chicago. This truck got so many issues, it don't make sense. They don't roll it up. So I refused to take it back to Chicago. They let me stranded in Pennsylvania at 4 p.m. Sunday. No calls, no nothing. I drove home. So now the truck is at the sheets, waiting on them to come pick it up. So when I speak to management, explain to them what was going on, they had a nerve to tell me to bring this truck back to Tampa, Florida. Wait a minute. Now we can go to Tampa? When I told you all the problems with it, you wouldn't send me to Tampa. You wanted me to go all the way to Chicago. Oh, sir, but you drove me back from Pennsylvania 500 miles. Yes, I did. I had to get home. You ain't gonna leave me stranded like y'all left me stranded all weekend. You wasn't answering emails. You wasn't answering phone calls. And any driver that works for Hirschbach will tell you, this is how they do. Liars. I'm that type of driver. I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure everybody's happy. So I say to them, man, I ain't got no problem bringing it to Tampa with the understanding you gonna fly me home like you flew me in to get this truck. Guess what these fools had the nerve to tell me? Well, we'll put $175 on your COM data card. Guess what your truck at now? It's in a safe environment, waiting on you to send a recovery team. Man, don't let these companies do this garbage to you. When you start seeing red signs, get out. Get out. They lying to you from day one. I started having thoughts about it when we was in orientation. When I told them in orientation what I would and would not do, right there, I should have just walked away from the table. But I'm a black man trying to get my own company off the ground, so, man, come on, walk with me. So it was a big thing, man. I was able to go through orientation and get this on there, get that on there. But now we ain't got that no more. Hirschbach, take my name off your truck. take my name off your truck. My name should not be affiliated with none of your papers. Or you're gonna start owing me in the sum of $1,000 a day for free advertising. But to any trucker out there, new truckers, do not listen to what these motherfuckers have to say. They are full of shit, nothing but lies. I had to ride around with this truck for a whole week and put my own refrigerator in there. My own refrigerator. Ladies and gentlemen, be smart.
Hey, we're back again. I'm just taking a little break on the side of the road. Okay, so that's why I'm making a video. But as you saw, the driver state that he had it, he was hoping that they can get him home. Okay, and all they told him is that they would give him $100 to help him get home from Tampa, Florida. Oh God. There should be a law, right, that says how a trucking company gets you to their location is the same way they get you back home. Okay, I'm sure if trucking companies practice that, right? Because see, here's the thing with lease purchasing, and when you look at your settlements and stuff like that, they take all kind of deductions out of there. Okay, every time you look around, there's a deduction coming out. I think they can take a small deduction in case you quit. What's $10 a week or something like that, until you get to at least $800 or something. So that can be your money for you to go home. Okay, in case you leave the company, you bring the truck back to the yard, and they'll get you a plane ticket home or a rental car back to the house or something. But these trucking companies are not obligated to get you home. Okay, and a lot of you guys know that these truck companies are out in the middle of nowhere. There was a lady on here one time I saw. I think her name is Pinky or something. I think she's from Baltimore, right? But she worked for Schuster, and I think they're based out of Iowa, or maybe, no, I think North Dakota or something. Somebody correct me in the comments. But they fired her and told her to get home the best way she could. And luckily, she had enough money to get a rental car or a plane ticket to get home. But when she was at the airport or the bus station, she bumped into a woman there who didn't have the money to. And I remember watching this thing, and I remember it got a lot of views, and it even got some Google reviews on Google about that. They left that woman abandoned there. Okay, here's the problem, guys. And see, this is the thing that I be trying to preach to you folks, right? And it'd be weird to me that you guys will bite back on not having any kind of driver protections for us. Okay, some people like to have people treat everybody any kind of way they want to, which is wild to me. We all should really stick together as truck drivers. That's how we get stuff done and change, right? And my biggest gripe, my biggest issue is the workers who bring the money in are treated the worst. Okay, they are. I mean, even the company I'm working for, who I'll name later on, they changed their pay structure to where I can no longer push loads through that need to get paid. And see, a lot of you guys were like, well, Rich, you should balance your money a little better, or you need to better your finances. Listen here. These loads don't go A, B, C, D all the time. Okay, sometimes you get a load that should have delivered before payroll, and something happens to where the customer changes the appointment, or you're delayed at another at the pickup, and you can't deliver in time for payroll cutoff. And what happens? You don't get paid, and then you're chasing the miles the next week. And some people will say, well, you get a bigger check next week. Next week comes, you have a breakdown, or next week comes and the same thing happened again. Okay, this is truck driving. This ain't nothing smooth. But I'm gonna tell you something. People in the office get regular paychecks steadily. And see, that's the biggest problem in truck driving out here is consistency. Okay, that's why you got everybody trying to break their necks to go to Walmart and other companies, because they treat their drivers right and they're consistent. We're far gone from the days where a truck driver can have his whole career at one company. We are gone from that. you're considered a veteran truck driver when you only got like 2 months solo experience. It's horrible out here. You know? What is that? It's horrible out here. So that's why I say, you know, is abandoning a truck more right? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do because they leave us no choice out here. You know, they really leave us no choice. I'm sorry. I'm looking behind me. It looks like a state trooper did some foul shit just now. Okay, so what this way station's closed, right? State trooper pulled down on the highway, opened it up real quick just to pull a truck in. And he's pulling this Kenworth 900 in right now to get inspected. Fucking asshole. Anyway, like I was saying, folks, I mean, right now we've been in worse times of trucking where nobody's making no money. So in the Hirschbach video, the guy said he made $500 in 2 weeks. And see, that kind of happened to me when I worked for Advanced Trucking. I worked a whole month where I was running 2,500 to 3,000 miles a week. And my paychecks were getting smaller and smaller and into the negative. Okay? They'll have us out here working for free. They don't care. And then, when they're done with us, they burn us. Okay? I'm not going to help you get home. No, you're on your own. So not only did you make no money, right, but you can't get home. My attitude towards that has really changed. You know, before, right, I used to be like, that's a cardinal sin in trucking. Don't abandon your equipment. Don't do that to the company. But man, how these companies treat you out here? Oh my God. Oh my God. I mean, you know, even my company I work for, how they changed the pay structure to where now, where I was making a decent paycheck, it has been literally cut in half. Okay, but the safety managers, the dispatchers, you know, even the mechanics get a steady paycheck. But the guy who's bringing in the money doesn't. Make that make sense? It doesn't make any sense at all. So, you know, folks, I'm going to tell you this, man. We are in different times. Wow, that's got to calm down. My heart rate jumped up. I guess we're in different times. You know, we're in times where nobody really cares. Nobody cares. You know, nobody gives a hell. You know, and it's shocking the number of truck drivers who don't care about each other either. Like I'm gonna get somebody on this YouTube here saying, Rich, you are 100% wrong. You should not be telling people that. Look, when you're 1,000 miles away from home, right? You cannot pay your mortgage or you can't pay your rent, okay, and you got a family at home to take care of, and the dispatcher or the fleet managers are telling you, you know, we don't have nothing for you, or the loads are not paying well, or this, or they're shifting you on freaking your rate contracts or something, and you're not able to take care of home, and the sheriffs show up at your house and evict your wife and kid, then what? Okay, come on now. I'm shocked that a lot more truck drivers ain't crashed out. I'm talking snap. Okay, but what's going on? So we are in different times. Hey, my fault, guys. I had to move. You know, I don't like interaction with law enforcement at all. And I know you guys are like, Rich, you're a part of that community. Yeah, I was. And being on the outside of it now, I don't want to see any law enforcement at all. You know, I just don't, because law enforcement and truckers, it's a revenue-based generating thing. Okay, it has nothing to do with being cool. They just, you know, they write tickets and want money. So anyway, like I was saying, y'all, these companies they treat everybody kind of way they want to. You know what? We allow them to. Like I said, you know, us trucking are not the highest class of citizens. We're just not. We don't have legal knowledge, and we don't have money for lawyers to fight cases. Some of us do, some of us don't. And they treat anybody kind of the way they want to. So, speaking on the guy from Hirschbach, I just thought it was hilarious because, you know, leasing's a problem in this country. It's a problem. Nobody gets a decent wage anymore. You feel me? Nobody do. You know, they want us to lease and work every day to pay a truck off. You know, it's wild, man, how we're treating this country. So like I said, truck abandonment, right? People used to have a very sour taste in their mouth about it. It only became really sour in recent years when the technology has caught up with the problem. Okay, and what I mean by that is DAC. DAC wasn't really a big thing back in the day. Okay, I met a guy with 13 abandonments one time. 13. And he just didn't care. But nowadays, I mean, what are you going to do? Be stuck 1,000 miles away from home? All right. You haven't made no money. You know, these companies act like we don't have bills at home. Like we're out here just trucking for free, just for the hell of it, just because we like driving these trucks. And that's not the case. Now, is Hirschbach a bad company? I'll be honest with you all. All trucking companies suck now. Do you know why? Because of the turnover rate. Only companies that have low turnover rate don't suck. That's how you can tell a company's good or not. Excuse me. They all suck. You know, when they got to bring in hundreds of people every month to fill seats, like when it's a rotating door, that's when you know, yeah, this company sucks. Okay? Because like I said earlier, the days of getting your CDL, finding a company and staying with a company 30 years is non-existent. Okay? It only exists probably 2 or 3 companies in this country. 2 or 3. I'm being dead serious. 2 or 3 companies in this country that you can do that and be comfortable. You know, and not have to worry about some bullshit, worry about not getting a paycheck. I mean, you had YouTubers on here tell you, I haven't had a paycheck in 3 weeks. You know, how's that acceptable? You know, it's not. And then they want you to bring the dude lives in Pennsylvania, obviously. So for him to go from Tampa to Pennsylvania and hadn't made any money weeks prior, like, how? How does a company not line up dude up to do that? Okay, so I look differently on truck abandonment. I wish that there was a regulation or a law that the same way the company got you down to the company is the same way to get you home. So that means all the companies that use Greyhound, you wouldn't go work for them. Yeah, I ain't working for you. You got me down by a rental car, I need you to get me back by a rental car. You got me down by a plane ticket, get me back by a plane ticket. Okay? But they don't want to do that. They want to leave you high and dry and give you $100. Just awful. Just awful, man. So I'm gonna continue this video. I'm gonna go ahead and start driving, get my thoughts some more together. We'll talk real soon. Hey guys, I'm sorry. This video has been all over the map. I stopped home for a day. What's going on with this damn TV? I stopped home for a day to grab some supplies, and I'm about to head on back on now. But basically, you guys understand what I mean by truck abandonment, right? I'm starting to see more and more truck abandonments these days than I had before. And there's a reason for that. You know, a lot of these companies, you know, you don't make good pay. You're sitting around and you have family to take care of. So I'm starting to see a lot more truck abandonments now. And, you know, unfortunately, it's a black eye in this industry, right? But there's nothing to give these companies a black eye other than us talking about it online, and which I think is very, very unfair, okay? They can ruin us. They can have us out there literally starving to death and not giving a damn about us. But in hindsight, if we leave their equipment somewhere because we can't afford to get home, because they don't have no obligation to get you home, then what? What options do you have? Okay, I know I'm in the comment section. After I post this video, I'm gonna get a lot of guys saying, that's the worst thing you could do. They didn't trust you with a piece of equipment. Well, what about your livelihood? What about that? What about the ability to make $1 to provide for your family? Like I said, the worst feeling if you have a family is getting a call home that you guys are being evicted, okay, or the water's being shut off, or food is not in the refrigerator for your family, okay? There's nowhere I can go and write about a company that it affects them. I wish that I could write on a website to, you know, put their information in DAC, say, hey, this company does not pay. and then they'll lose business. Do you understand? It's a hell of a double-edged sword, and you are treated like a pure nut here. Okay, so that's why I made the video. That's why I was talking about it. I'm curious, that video's been out for a while, and it took me a little while to get myself together here. Last few days have been kind of rough. I mean, even with me and my company and the stuff that they're pulling now, the pay thing is a big issue. I mean, my company basically said, hey, listen, we can't make sure you're guaranteed pay. Okay, we can't make sure that you're guaranteed to make a decent living out here now. Okay, and what recourse do they have? It's always one-sided, and that's the thing I'm getting to. Okay, and I know some of you will disagree with me, but my opinion has changed after what I see out here, and your opinion should too if you're a realist, if you're a person who really realizes what's going on out here in the industry, okay, and how drivers are treated out here on a daily basis. I mean, the most crappy feeling is to be sleeping in a truck 1,000 miles away from home and have no money. None. That's a dangerous situation to be in. And then you tell the company you quit, they tell you find your best way home. There should be a law or some sort of regulation that the same way they get you down to orientation is the same way they have to get you home. And if they don't, they get severe fines and penalties. Okay? But man, I have seen trucking companies call police on drivers and have them thrown out in the middle of nowhere. Okay? And the best way for them to get home is the best way. Matter of fact, I wish I could have grabbed my camera fast enough. I was somewhere, I want to say Georgia. I was in Georgia somewhere. And somebody put a truck driver out. And he was standing there on the side of the road with his briefcase and his stuff, just sitting there, and he didn't know what to do with himself. So, these companies will abandon you in this country, and nothing will happen to them. They'll abandon you and take your money, okay, and mess up your career. Put things on your work report that you can't dispute. That takes an arm and a leg to dispute. It's one-sided industry here for drivers. It is unfair. So, listen, we are in different times. We are, hopefully you can be proactive in some of this truck abandonment and not put yourself in that situation. You got to strategically plan, but sometimes, like the guy said in the video prior, he worked 2 weeks and only made $500. That is not even, that should be a fair that should be a fair labor practice issue. But they get away with it by calling you a contractor. And that's bullshit. So Hirschbach and whoever, shame on you. It is what it is, y'all. Anyway, peace and love. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.